I sorry to go back to the gym. To bring it up again. I was in the gym and I was watching an anime to go along with said gym experience.
Is this the only time you watch anime? Man, you've been talking about watching anime a lot recently.
No, twice.
That is a lot.
Well, you know,
that is a lot, Connor.
That's 2 more times than me.
I was in the gym and I was like, I want to watch something. And then I saw the new season of Baki was out and I was like, well, this is good gym material.
Of course.
And I watched it and like, my God, if you haven't started watching Baki, like you need to watch
I haven't seen this new season yet. Is it like...
This is probably the greatest season of television I've ever seen in my life. This shit was so goddamn funny.
Yeah.
Because part 3 Baki, which is the new season, is my favorite Baki part in the manga.
Honestly, I was like trying to work out, but I just couldn't stop laughing. Like, just some of the plot points. It honestly puts JoJo to shame at times with how stupid this show gets.
Part 3 is when it really starts to get fucking
If you don't know
ridiculous.
what Baki is, I don't even know how to explain it. It's just men with muscles fighting, and it's just so fucking stupid.
Basically, a kid who's like, I want to be the strongest creature on the planet. And then he does everything he can to be the strongest creature on the planet.
There's no way we can describe in words what Baki is kind of like. It's kind of like JoJo. You kind of just have to experience it.
The reason why I think it doesn't do as well as JoJo's, I think it doesn't have like an aesthetic that is quite as appealing as JoJo. JoJo has so much style and stuff to go around with it.
Yeah.
But I think Baki is almost more fucking stupid.
Itagaki Keisuke is one of those like illustrators where I'm like, are you really good at drawing or are you really shit?
So
I don't know.
Right.
Yeah. There are some scenes where I'm like, damn, that's an amazing shot. And then other scenes I'm like, I don't think this man has ever seen a human being in his life. Because that is not how anatomy works.
It's like you take a character and you're like, let's make this a muscly character. And you're like, what proportions do you think is reasonable for a muscly character? And then the author just went, all right, multiply that by 10, and then that's like the character designs.
Every single character, even the weak characters, are like built like brick shit houses. Yeah, right. It's insane. And like, I could tell you some plot points, and I will, and it won't even spoil it for you because it won't make any fucking sense, right? So at one point during the show, the main protagonist Baki starts shadowboxing, right?
That's my favorite fucking scene.
So is it the mantis?
So yeah, that as well. But so he starts. It's like a 10-year-old kid. And he's like, look, I'm going to show you that I'm going to fight an opponent. And so he starts fighting the air. And then he starts fighting Mike Tyson.
Oh, this one.
Mike Tyson appears out of thin air.
Yeah.
And Mike Tyson isn't there, but Mike Tyson is landing blows and he
beats the shit out of
he
him.
physically gets hurt. And then he's fighting him back, and then the kid can see the spirit of Mike Tyson. And then this just happens. And then he's like, and then the main character's like, oh yeah, Mike Tyson's weak. And then he just summons a praying mantis that beats the shit out of him. But then he starts fighting the praying mantis that's imaginary.
Yeah. In a room, right? Like underneath.
And then like some military guy's like, hey, come fight. And then he's like, no. And then he just kidnaps George Bush. And it's like, what's going on? What is going on? What is going on?
You're talking about Biscuit Oliver, right?
Then he kidnaps, in this plot, he kidnaps George Bush.
Yeah.
So he can go to prison.
Yeah.
But like,
so then he can beat up all the prison mates.
Why would George Bush help you go to prison if you kidnap him? They would just what? It doesn't make any sense.
I love how Baki just like is so with the times. Like you know exactly when part 3 was
written. Also, it's like watching Baki, right? Is like if you only learned about America through Trash Taste. It's literally this shit they say about it. There's this one fucking I had to pause it because I just fucking laughed my ass off. And there's this one point where this American prison guard is about to die. And the two Japanese guys, one of them the Japanese guy saves the American, and the other Japanese goes, why would you save an American? He's never going to care about you. He's American. And I just paused it, and it was like, what? What does that mean? What is that? Is this just like casual, like, what is this, Trash Taste podcast?
America's like compassion? What is that?
What is that?
What is that? I've never heard of that in my life.
If you're not an American, get out.
Is that part of the Constitution? Compassion? In my country?
Like, why would you save an American? They wouldn't care about you.
It's like, what? It's like, holy shit. What? my favorite Baki is I'll never fucking forget, and I can't wait for them to adapt this. I think it's part 4. And it's when Barack Obama comes out.
Yep.
No.
Because he gets... So in the manga, he's like newly elected, right?
Oh,
so it's like, you know the era of when this was written. And like Hama Yujiro, like the main, like the dad guy who's like the most powerful guy, he's like, he goes to talk to
Yeah.
Obama because of course he can.
He can just sit down with any president he wants.
But-
Like the main antagonist could just sit down with anyone.
Yeah.
Just because he's so built
Because he's
different.
so built.
It's just like insane.
But like Obama at first is like, I've heard of that man. I don't trust him. I don't trust him at all. But like, I need to see, is he the real deal? I need to see if he's the real deal. So then he comes into the room and he's like, show me you're the real deal. And and Yujiro goes, all right, bet. And he grabs like a handful of sand and he crushes it in his hand and turns it into a diamond.
I didn't even need to know what he's gonna do to know.
And then Obama's like, you are the real one. Shakes hands.
So there's like this show
Big
is,
muscle.
If you haven't watched Baki, you are honestly doing yourself a disservice.
Yeah.
It is so fun.
I'm just like, 'cause like-
get past the start. It can be
Yeah.
a little jank, but like the anime is really good.
It's really good.
funny.
Because like I'm surprised that meme culture just hasn't picked up on Baki memes, right? Because so
Yeah.
much of this is fucking memeable.
I know.
Right? Like,
There's one other thing as well that is so fucking funny. So apparently, right, because there's these three characters, Baki, Yujiro Hanma,
Yeah.
and Oliver Biscuit, the other guy.
Yeah.
There's just three guys. They're so dangerous and so powerful because
Yeah.
they're muscles, right?
Yeah.
That half of the GPS in the world is in the air solely to track them. Solely to track them in this world, right? And so whenever they run above 2 kilometers an hour, all the GPS in the world has to stop working just to track these three
them,
men.
yeah.
So there's a whole section where they explain that when people are driving or using their phone, the GPS just doesn't work correctly because some of these characters decided to go for a light jog. You can't make this shit up.
amazing.
Who thought of this shit?
I'm telling you, man. Like that's the thing. If you thought JoJo was ridiculous, JoJo's witches, it could be as ridiculous as Baki at times.
And you combine that with then also another part in another season where Yujiro Hanma, again, the main antagonist, meets Muhammad Ali. And he's like, you can't beat me because you took off to do important human rights things. But I respect you because you did that. And it's like, what is going on?
isn't one of the antagonists like Muhammad Ali's son?
Muhammad Ali's son, But like he respects Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
But even though he's weaker than him because he took time out of his career to argue for civil rights.
Yeah.
Great. We love that.
good on him.
But then Muhammad Ali Jr. is just like cocky.
Yeah.
And then he gets like
But then he kidnaps like the main like love interest of Baki and then gets beaten up by like 5 dudes for 5 days straight, just like over and over and over. There was also another scene I love where it's like Hanaya Makoto, who's like my favorite fucking character. He's like he's like bored, so he's just like, oh man, everyone's weak, everyone's fucking weak. No one can stand up to me except one man, Hanma Yujiro. You know what? I'm gonna go pay him a visit. So he goes and pays him a visit. He's just like walking down the street and he's like, so we're gonna start fighting? And he's like, right here? I'm like, yeah. Just in the middle of a crowd. But then a kid comes up and is like, oh my god, Yujiro, I'm a massive fan of you. And like hands him like a shikishi, right? It's like, can you sign this shikishi? And, you know, normally you'd think he pulls out a pen, does the sign. No, this is Hanma Yujiro. He's built different.
Yeah.
What he does is he gets his finger, he stabs the shikishi and then slices it into 4 quarters with his finger until it's like all broken apart. And the kid's like, oh my god, thank you so much. And then Hanaya Makoto's like, man, I'd be happier with that than a signature if I were you. And I was like, what is this scene? And then they start beating the shit out of each other.
It's just like, it is insane. Like I'm sure if you don't know anything about Baki, that probably made no sense, and it doesn't make any.
It doesn't
sense.
make any sense.
Don't
Even in context, it doesn't make
like
sense.
I still don't quite understand what the story is, and I've watched 3 seasons.
Yeah.
I don't get the point.
Well, because you
I
watched
love
the
it.
Netflix seasons,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And the
and-
Netflix seasons aren't even the beginning of the story because the Netflix seasons are like
Starts
a
at season 2.
Yeah,
So-
it's like a sequel to an anime or like the manga that came out like decades ago,
Yeah.
and then
It's been going longer
The,
than
the,
JoJo.
the CGI has gotten a lot better as well in this season.
That's
the
good.
CGI is kind of jank in the first season,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
But still watch it. It is really
I
funny.
mean, I would say like the animation, especially compared to JoJo, isn't as good, but
God,
like you don't watch it for the animation. You watch it for
no.
like the batshit crazy scenes.
It's just like, it's just insane how they decide fights. And it is like, imagine if a world was decided purely by muscle. Like, the whole...
It's like muscles can solve every world
Yeah.
issue in the
But
world,
like,
right?
guns in this world are meaningless compared
No.
to muscles. Like guns don't do anything.
Yeah.
Guns are a suggestion. Guns are for normal human beings, and they don't operate in the same world that the characters do. Like, it's
It's like every single character is an Avengers level threat. That's just what it is, right? And it's
every single time you think you've met the strongest character, they introduce some new character that is even stronger.
Who's the main one in the part 3 again? Is it the prehistoric guy?
Is it the first human?
No. So I believe they've done what they did with the first season. Well, it's technically one season split into 2.
Oh,
I
okay,
think that's what they've done here. So the first arc is just through the prison.
And
then the next arc is the prehistoric one.
the pickle, right?
But this arc opens up with a press conference from like a safari where like all these people died to this giant mammoth elephant, which killed hundreds of people and animals.
Yeah.
And in this press conference, he's like, one man killed this 500-meter tall mammoth.
That's what I
and then the press conference is like, no, it didn't. And then it's like, what is this? What is this? What? It's so dumb.
That's what I love about Baki is that every character has such this batshit crazy backstory.
Yeah.
That the way they get introduced with this like fucking crazy backstory, and you have like Speedwagon, like basically a narrator just going over their entire backstory, doing all these like batshit crazy things, and you think it can't get crazier until it fucking does every time.
I've like almost caught up to the manga, and I'm like, how did they top the first human who ever lived, who beat a fucking Tyrannosaurus Rex with his bare hands?
So I even though I know sort of what the next arcs are about, like, there's an arc about them fighting prehistoric creatures, right?
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck?
They just bring him back to life, and they're like, let's see if they stand up to the humans of today.
Right? like Jurassic Park, instead if they turned it into Test the Humans, instead of like seeing what the dinosaurs could do. It's like, let's see what the humans can do against the dinosaurs, because humans are too boring in this world.
Yeah, apparently.
Because it's just like no normal martial arts master is good enough anymore now.
Yeah.
But it's just so funny because like the main protagonist, which is the main character's dad, is just like batshit insane and also just hilarious.
Yeah.
It's just, he's so insane.
Some of the shit he says
amazing.
is actually insane.
And there's just the fact that there's a whole scene dedicated to him watching his son having sex. And
that was what sold me on the first
honestly,
season.
if I can't sell you on Baki, it's that there is a scene where he is about to lose his virginity and his dad comes in giving him advice.
Yeah.
In like the creepiest way on earth and the most like manly way.
Yeah,
please watch this show. It is insane. The fact that people haven't watched this is just mind-blowing.
He literally squats down next to the bed and says, eat her.
Yeah. He's like, fuck every day.
Every day.
Answer your instincts. Let your instincts take over. Become an animal. Fuck when you want.
And then to top it off, Baki turns fucking Super Saiyan levels of like powerful after he loses his virginity.
No. They have like a fucking, because like they actually have sex in this anime, and they turn the sex scene into a JoJo fight. I swear to God. He's just like, oh, sex is like a battle.
I'm gonna be honest though, it is in real life. You're like trying to think of like 10 things at once. Make sure you do it right. It's the most accurate sex scene in anime. Changed my mind. No, on top of that, right? Not only is this the hypest sex scene in anime, immediately after that, you don't need this no bullshit Goku Super Saiyan, I'm gonna save the world. This man powered up more than Goku ever wishes he could by losing his virginity. These people can sense that this man lost his virginity. He was fighting.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because one of the prison guys like tries to come up to him, right?
Not one, two. Before this, our main character was so weak that he couldn't face one of these dudes one-on-one.
Yeah.
After sex, 2 of them come in and they cannot face him. Like this man's aura, this man's nen has increased so much from busting a nut that like they can't even think of facing him.
He somehow developed like hockey power. After
It's like Gon pre-Nen versus post-Nen.
It's like if Gon turned into his dad after nutting. It's insane. Like this whole episode was like, you had to pause it and just be like, what the fuck is going on?
So funny.
It's please watch Baki. It is insane.
It's amazing.
I cannot. And this new season was so goddamn fun. I was going to only watch like 2 episodes. I binged it all in one day. It was so fun. It's insane. Like
I have to watch it.
If you go into it with the mindset of this is going to be a kind of stupid JoJo-esque show, I guarantee you will love it.
Yeah.
If you can watch it with the boys, this shit is fucking hilarious.
We need a Baki out of context kind of compilation. Just
get
this going. Just how do we not not.
zero memes of Baki.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's like
there are like so
ridiculous.
many out of context JoJo memes and
Yeah.
compilations, but there's nothing for Baki.
No.
Like how?
I don't. It deserves
crime,
its
true
place.
crime.
Like it's just I can think of so many
There's
clips.
so many scenes.
So many clips of this goddamn show that deserve to be memed. Oh my god.
No,
Oh
but-
my lord.
No, but like going back to
Fight for my life for Baki. Oh my god.
Yeah.